and welcome to the Lao Jiaos Podcast. This is where we bring you unfiltered and unapologetic take on the news, current affairs, and all the things people pretend to understand. I'm your host, Jin Yong, and with me is fellow Lao Jiao, Amos. How are you doing?
I'm very good, bro. How are you?
I realize you're in a very different background.
Yeah, so I actually recently moved to my temporary house before I wait for my BTO. It's like a typical Singaporean dream kind of thing, right? Yeah, so I was scrambling and stuff like that. So if you notice any of my gear being different, actually I forgot to bring some
mic in
stuff
front
over.
of your
Sorry,
face.
that. Yeah, but how are you? How are you, man?
How to say, the past few weeks, I think in terms of work, it has been very draggy. But I think in terms of weekends, I've been home reading and stuff. Yeah, so this week has been great. I think we have to talk about Singapore losing their first leg of the ASEAN Cup semi-final to Thailand. To give our listeners some context, Singapore just lost the semi-final first leg of the ASEAN Cup to Thailand on home ground at the Jalan Besar Stadium 3-1. Now, this means that Singapore will need to win the second leg by at least 3 goals to advance to the finals away at Thailand, which is going to be quite the challenge. Now, one positive outcome was that the Singaporean fans actually really came out to show the support for the team, with even President Taman coming to the stadium to watch and support, and there being like watch parties at different venues around Singapore, although there was a controversy surrounding the ticket prices on the secondary market, which is actually Carousel. There were people caught to be selling the sold out tickets for close to 1.5k per ticket.
I personally didn't watch the full game. I only watched the highlights. I was quite impressed with Singapore's performance. I mean, considering I think we've come a long way, but then I still feel like there's still more room for improvement. I mean, I want to say, but I can see that how Thailand's physicality is a bit more up there as compared to us.
If you follow the ASEAN teams over the years, I mean, we won the ASEAN Cup like 10 plus 15 years ago, but I think that Singapore now, we are not the dominant team in ASEAN. We have the Thai first. There's always the strongest. Then, even like Vietnam and like Indonesia have put in quite strong showings on international stage before our turn. The only positivity came because Gavin Lee that recently took over, Singapore had a few like good performances. But I think in terms of standard, let's not kid ourselves. We are not the top country in ASEAN in terms of football. Were you surprised to see like Singaporeans like turning out in filling out Jalan Besar Stadium? Then you see like tickets, the tickets like gonna snap up and being sold on the secondary market.
I feel like this whole scalping culture is kind of like imbued or ingrained into our Singapore culture. We're just out there to find ways to earn more money for ourselves and all that. It's to our detriment in a sense where I feel like it kind of destroys culture in a sense, because then people have negative connotations about. But if it's meant to be free, it's not meant to be free, but it's meant to be affordable, then why are you going to making it more inaccessible or more expensive for other people in a sense? You know what I mean? There should be some sort of regulation around it.
Some of the concert organizers have also went to setting up their own official reselling accounts as well. I think if you still want to go Carousel or this kind of second-hand place to buy your tickets, then you run the risk of it being a scam ticket . But I would say it's quite encouraging to see Singaporeans still bothering to watch, or buy tickets to watch the soccer matches or the football matches. Regardless of how good or how not good the quality of the players are, I think as Singaporeans, it's always encouraging to see your own people supporting your own team . Hugs and kisses to Gavin Lee. I hope you bring Singapore to far. Let's get into the segment of the week. Amos, what are you doing for the segment of the week?
Today I'm going to talk about, I didn't run out of things to say, but I was doing some research, but I thought this viral flavor trend, I think it's slowly coming up to surface a bit more. Like previously we had the Dubai sticky chewy chocolate, but I don't know if many of you guys have heard of the banana pudding flavor trend that's coming up. A lot of cafes are having this flavor imbued into their coffee lattes, even ice cream flavors and yogurt flavors. But I don't know if have you heard of places that actually have introduced this kind of flavor?
I think I've seen a few cafes have this kind of flavors, like banana pudding latte, this kind. I also seen it come out in some of the milk tea stores. But I honestly can't bring myself to drink such a just banana and pudding plus even the milk tea or plus the coffee. I really feel like it's so sweet. It sounds to me like very sweet. So it's not something I'll try.
So you don't have a sweet tooth, I guess.
I have. I'm controlling it, so I wouldn't use it on this kind of thing. Maybe desserts or whatnot. But not this kind of milk tea.
I actually tried one of my friends. She made the banana pudding itself. Wow, it was really good. And then she put she did a matcha base, and then she put the banana pudding on top. I was like, wow.
Oh.
I was telling her, wow, maybe you can consider opening a home based kind of business.
Before this, I remember the other trend was there was a period of time where a lot of matcha strawberry matcha strawberry,
yeah.
matcha don't know what one, this kind, matcha
Yeah.
mango, this kind. I remember there was a
Correct.
time there was a lot of this kind with milk. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's evolving to the different more cutesy flavors.
Before we get into our episode, a word from our sponsor.
So this week's episode of the Chit Chatter Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Eaglewings Cinematics, offering one of the most premium cinema experiences you can find right here in Singapore. Located at KAP Mall, Eaglewings isn't your typical cinema chain. It's a boutique cinema experience that blends comfort, style, and community with 5 uniquely themed halls. Every visit feels fresh and memorable, whether you're planning a date night, a family outing, or a special celebration.
EagleWings is about more than just movies. They take cinema dining to the next level with a wide variety of dishes from their award-winning EagleWings Loft menu. From lobster risotto and wagyu burgers to pizza, pasta, you can enjoy restaurant quality food delivered straight to your seat while you watch your movie. If you're looking for an even more premium experience, selected ticket classes also give you access to their exclusive lounge where you can enjoy complimentary coffee, tea or soft drinks, and even relax in a massage chair before your movie begins.
And what truly sets Eaglewing apart is that they offer much more than just the latest blockbuster. They also host private screenings for special occasions including birthday parties, corporate events, and even unforgettable wedding proposals. So don't forget to download the Eaglewings app where you'll unlock a range of exclusive perks and reward, not only for your cinema visits but also at participating outlets throughout KAP Mall.
Head down to Eaglewings Cinematics at KAP Mall or visit their website to book your tickets today. Once again, a huge thank you to Eaglewings Cinematics for sponsoring this week's episode of the Chit Chatter Podcast. And now back to the episode. Okay, so on to our main news segment. The first news is regarding online discourse and country divider on Maju Forest and HDB development. Okay, so this controversy actually centers on Singapore's plan to clear out 15 hectares of the 23-hectare Maju Forest near Sunset Way for public housing. Now, conservation advocates argue that this is not just empty land. It's mature secondary forest with a freshwater stream at least 286 plant species and 113 animal species. They also stress its role as a wildlife corridor linking Clementi Forest, the Rail Corridor, Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, and the central catchment, so cleaning it could fragment habitat and make wildlife movement more difficult. The wider debate, right, is over how Singapore balances urgently needed housing with long-term ecological protection. So petition campaigns opposing development at Maju Forest and Gilman Barracks drew more than 30,000 signatures. So the government has said that plans are not finalized and that it will continue public engagement after the formal consultation period. But critics want stronger protection, alternative housing sites, and planning that preserves the forest cooling. Amos, what is your view on this matter, and do you feel that you are more in favor of tearing it down, or like you are more in favor of like we need to preserve more of the forest?
I feel like, okay, so my personal thoughts is, I'm just saying because I already have a BTO secured, so I'm not in need of a BTO. So I'm a bit selfish. I say I'm in support of conserving the place. I think nature is a very lost thing in Singapore. It's quite sad to see, like, I mean, even my place, right? Like literally they have to deforest like an area of land just to build a BTO. It's part of how people would see us, because we are also known as like a green city, right? Then if we clear the forest, then there will be no forest left. So we call like what, concrete jungle city or what?
Don't understand, right? For a country like Singapore where we are actually quite firm about development, we have unearthed funeral sites for like highways, we have moved dead people for highways, we have cleared forests without need for clearing it with people, you know. I really don't know why suddenly over the past few years we suddenly have this thing like, before we build, we need to have public consultation, we need to bring in the people. To me from a governmental perspective, you bring in people, then there will always be people for and against. Then you make your own job so difficult for what? Development has always been Singapore's one of the top priorities. So there shouldn't be so much of a, there shouldn't be so much of a discussion, or like, you know, you give people so much of a power to like, we want a voice heard, then we want to preserve, or we want to take things apart. Because I can't see the whole Singapore planning as a whole. So I won't know whether is this really the most good side, or is there any other options or whatnot. But I do agree that from a ecological perspective, preserving the nature and all this is important. But I don't know why the government is putting in so much effort to consult people, invite this kind of comments, and then say you go back and review before we put out something like, you know, that satisfy everybody kind.
But I get where they're coming from also. But I was also thinking, right, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works, right? But can you imagine the people that are actually petitioning against tearing down all these forests, right? And then they're actually the people that are also the people that need the BTO. Kind of like you're in a dilemma, right? Practicality fight with wherever you're actually standing firm on, like your values and all that. So sometimes if you are the person that is in the shoe of like you're actually propagating against like propagating for sustainability, yet you are the one that needs housing, right? I think sometimes you have to ask yourself the question also, what is the more important priority lah, in that sense. Yeah.
Okay, but do you think Singapore can meet the demand for homes in mature estates without sacrificing ecologically valuable land?
Yeah, I think there is lah. Even the place that I'm staying in, right, temporary, actually a lot of available units still lah. Like they wanted to unblock this whole estate, but then actually not even I would say half of this whole estate is filled yet. There's still space to meet housing demands lah. It's just whether we are comfortable with the different arrangements that we can possibly
Correct.
make.
Okay, I would say I think there's enough houses based purely on the fact that our birth rate is getting lower and lower. I don't think housing should be a problem. Okay, but I think the biggest problem is about housing prices, which is why I think government is building more and more BTO, because I think they are trying to run ahead of the curve to control housing prices lah. Even for me as a single, right, if I really cannot afford, right, then just to lower my expectations and find housing buy a BTO in the area of Singapore that has the lowest housing price lor, like be it Jurong West or be it like Jurong West is not even cheap anymore. I think the cheapest that I've heard is Yishun. I have to be feasible lah, and I can't complain that why can't I stay in places like I don't know Bidadari where it's very famous now, or like then I have to accept that I have to stay in Yishun lor. Hey, sorry Yishun residents, this is not me trying to bash your area, but I mean the housing prices is such.
Make Yishun great again.
Okay, so on to our second news. Our second news is Edmund Chen releases footage of car accident that got him on a 1-day jail sentence. Okay, so former actor Edmund Chen posted rear dashcam footage of the March 2025 AYE accident that led to his conviction for careless driving. Now, the video shows a motorcyclist overtaking from Chen's left before colliding with his car. Now, the post was uploaded after an online critic called Chen disgraceful, and he has reignited debate over fault and accountability. Some commenters argued that the motorist was speeding or following too closely, while others pointed to the court finding that Chen changed lanes abruptly and asked him to release front camera footage for fuller context. Chen said he hoped the episode would remind everyone to stay alert and safe on the road, and actually the released footage has caused for netizens to be leaning more towards his side on the matter than he was not at fault. I think if you see the video, it's very hard to see who's at fault, because the video show the car just stopping, then you just see the rider just go across hit the car, then he fell down. Would like to trust that the court has made a very impartial decision, because I don't think this is a very complex case in the sense that it doesn't involve millions or billions. It's not the kind of like, I need to trace the money, go ABC and then go to an offshore account kind of thing. To me, this is not such a case. Yeah. So I would like to argue that I think the court got it right, and I think the sentence, be it 5 days, 1 day, I think it should be fair lah. Okay, what I didn't like is that because the person in doing is a celebrity, right? Then everyone seems so, the attention on him is like times 50. Then everyone seems to be very keen on dragging his name through the mud. When honestly, right, I think if you really watch him through the years, right, he doesn't really have a lot of bad news on the internet, and don't have this kind of like things surface about him doing all this kind of wrongdoing. But I just don't understand this need to, like, because he's celebrity, you drag his name through mud. Then then it's always this kind of bad comments that surface then all the things that defend him is always not as loud as the bad comments lah. Yeah.
We kind of judge them with a higher expectation to fulfill, when actually we forget to realize they are actually also humans, and they have a life outside their jobs and their position of power. And we are also at fault to play. I mean, in a sense, that we as in the audience are also at fault to play, because we also we judge before knowing the full context, and we also have an expectation that's almost sometimes unrealistic. Even we cannot fulfill ourselves. So why are we putting that expectation on people?
I would like to add on that, number one, he didn't publicly say I'm right or I'm wrong. I mean, full marks to him for accountability lah. Okay, yeah, never say I'm wrong, I'm right. I say let the court do his talking. And then I would also like to remind people, right, these people that post hateful comments online, right, I think we have to understand that this kind of comments although keyboard warrior only, they also hold a certain kind of power, right? Because we have seen so many Korean movies, Korean series. Yeah. This kind of online abuse can also lead to things that we don't want to see lah. How sure are you that you say all this kind of thing it wouldn't affect the person at the receiving end? So I feel that we have to really weigh our ability to post comments, and also weigh that this thing has dragged on long enough already because, how do you say, since the thing first appeared, then to the court case, to the ruling, then to the appeal, this thing just keep dragging out into the public limelight. Then people forget, then you keep dragging out into the public limelight again. Okay, so the last piece of news. Viral video of man tapping a girl on her head at a coffee shop and then gets assaulted by her father. So at a coffee shop, an elderly man in his 70s who reportedly had prior hip and leg injuries and was using tables for balance, walked past a family's table and briefly patted a young child on the head. Now, the child's father then confronted him, and according to the family's CCTV account, the elderly man attempted to explain himself before the confrontation turned physical, causing him to fall. So the family say that the father later sat with the elderly man, apologized and offered him a drink, but they felt that does not adequately address the injury or the circumstances of the fall. Although the elderly man initially did not want to take the matter further, his family had shared the footage in hopes of identifying the other man and pursuing the matter properly, while specifically asking the public not to harass or confront him. Okay, Amos, what is your take on this news? Wow, this one spicy news.
Wow, this one, it was even at the lunch topic of my, I had lunch earlier.
Yeah, correct.
And then we were talking about it. I felt very unsettled because, I mean, I think our parents are around that age group also, and to imagine that they might be the person, let's say, I mean, my parents are not hawkers, but then imagine they are the ones that got tossed to the ground like that, like shoved to the ground. That's crazy. This uncle literally got shoved to the ground, and like, wow, I felt it, man. I felt so angry, so unjust.
Maybe if it's in America where, you know, you see adults touch little girls or little boys, right, you say that, hey, this one is like pedophilic. But I still feel that in Singapore, if I really have a child and an adult or uncle touch my child, like, on the head, like, not say anywhere else, I feel that it's okay. I mean, maybe some different parents might feel that this is... Right? Maybe other parents might feel that this is not, how to say, this is not appropriate. But I think that you can just tell the uncle, what's that need to like shove him and then, you know, you cause him to fall, then now he's like apparently on walking stick and whatnot.
Yeah. I was asking some of my friends, like, what will you do if you are in the guy's position? You know, like, let's say someone touch your kid's head. Then they'll say, sorry, excuse me, can you not touch my daughter or son? Like, if they continue to just touch again, then I think then they will take the matters up, they escalate it further. But they say they won't their immediate reaction will not be to show of force. There's no need to do that.
Because according to the news, he actually apologized, right? And then he tried to like talk to the uncle, and the uncle seemed to have accepted it. And then now it's the family that says that, but we don't accept. We want to like have a actual sit down with him and sort of find out what actually happened, kind of thing. And then I think this is where things get complicated because I think the family feels unjust and they're not there, so they just want to find out what happened. So I don't know what's going to be the episode 2 of this, but but now it seems like there's a whole string of events that will come after this that is going to be more complex than it actually is.
But I think kudos to the family also for telling the public not to harass or confront the person. But literally the guy's face is like on CCTV. Then like everyone screenshot that part. Then his face is all over the internet now. But then, I really feel. I mean, okay, to play devil's advocate here, I think maybe if I was the guy, right, I didn't know how much force I needed to use. But I think that all that to say, I think maybe show of force shouldn't be the immediate reaction always Even whether it's a light jest or what.
So I think the only takeaway I have from this is that now go out, cannot touch people.
Man.
Or like maybe ask permission first. I don't know.
Yeah, always ask permission. Yeah, I think very important.
I mean, not just kids. I think dogs and like dogs especially. Sometimes I see them cute on the road. I also don't dare to like just touch. Before we end, we would like to go with a round of quick fire news for the alarm meter. Okay, so for the first news, more than 100 police raids around Singapore to target loan shark syndicates. So more than 100 police officers conducted simultaneous island-wide raids on August 12, targeting an alleged unlicensed money lending syndicate linked to at least 25,500 scam shield reports and 1,509 police reports, including 883 loan sharking related cases. 11 people aged 18 to 77 were arrested for allegedly helping the operation through bulk fast cash SMS ads, SIM card top-ups, runner work, and bank account access. Police seized over 410,000 in cash, devices, SIM cards, and bank cards, froze 29 bank accounts holding over $106,000, and seized cryptocurrencies worth over $25,000. Okay, if you really see the video, I have to say, they really take the big saw, like really just saw through the metal door and just break in.
Crazy,
that's
right?
That's the first time I see police do that. Like, hey, we got the warrant, right? I'm not going to knock and wait for you to come. I'm going to zen and just whack in already. Then some of the people look like, hey, I'm just sitting on bed half naked. Why got people coming kind?
That's mad. But I guess police, they are allowed to do this lah. So yeah.
Yeah. Karang-Guni man 59 steals $2,000 sugarcane juicer at Red Hill Food Center and sells it for about $20. Okay, so a 59-year-old Karang-Guni man, Yo Ho Chai, was fined $2,500 after stealing a $2,000 sugarcane juicer that had been left outside a Red Hill Food Center store for collection by its supplier. CCTV showed him moving the machine away with a cart on April 3rd, 2025. He later sold it for only $20 to $30 and has not made restitution. Was considered in sentencing and he can pay the fine in installments or face a week in jail if he defaults.
Then Alamak, man. Wow. I feel for these uncles. Not even 10% of the price that he sells. At least sell 10% lah.
Hey, how does this make sense? You steal a $2,000 juicer, you sell it for $20 and you get a $2,500 fine.
It's his Karang-Guni mindset, bro. You should. Walao. Change it.
Can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine if he decide not to pay, he go to jail? Then people like, you come in for what? Oh, I steal sugarcane juicer. You steal jewelry, you steal iPad, even more valuable than you steal this thing.
But now I know how much a juicer costs already.
Third piece of news, Big Bang concert tickets being resold for $3,000. Big Bang Singapore concert ticket sale drew overwhelming demand with virtual queue numbers exceeding 300,000 on the first day and some fans reporting queues above 500,000. The August 11 VIP pre-sale sold out by about 3:30 p.m. ahead of the Trip.com pre-sales on August 12 and general sale on August 13. Resale listings quickly appeared as steep markups. Tickets original price at $458 each were listed for $3,000. Fans should also note that police have flagged ticket scams and asked Carousel to remove relevant resale listings.
Alamak, bro.
All along every concert ticket, there will be scalpers, there will be people kena scam. Yet, I think 2-3 days into the actual sale, right, I don't know how many people report to the police already. I read the news, I think about 7 to 10 reports about this already. And then I don't know how many $1,000 lost already.
I told you, scalping is our culture, bro.
Scalping is one thing, but why would people continually go and buy from Carousel when you know that people are scammed off Carousel?
Maybe they're not so educated about that.
That was our Lao Jiaos Podcast. If you enjoyed the episode, please remember to like and subscribe. We have an episode that comes out every Friday. But at the same time, if you're into football, with Football Kaki that drops every Wednesday, and our Kopiko show will interview fun, amazing guests from around Singapore every Monday. Now, we hope that everyone has a great week ahead. But remember,
we don't always talk cock,
but sometimes we do.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.